my name is Gabby and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, then welcome to my channel, and in today's video, I will be reading 3 random manga series again. I did this back in November and it went okay. I think we can do better. So we're going to try again today. I'm going to be using my e-reader. I'm going to scroll down all of this series on Viz and K-Manga, and whatever I tap while not looking is what we are going with. And we are going to do this twice on Viz and once on K-Manga. And for Viz, it just has to be a series or one shot that I haven't finished or caught up to yet, and same for K-Manga. But also when it comes to K-Manga, it's going to have to be a series that doesn't require you to use points within the first 10 chapters, because I am saving those points for another series right now, and I don't even think that I have enough points to cover 10 chapters anyway. And on that note, I will be reading 10 chapters of all 3 series if they have chapters, and if they don't have chapters, it's just like a one-shot situation or like a one singular volume type of situation, I'm just going to read it. And that counts for all of the series that I haven't started, and also the series that I have and have enough chapters left to read. So with that, let's go ahead and find out what I am going to be reading and talking about today. Okay, we're going to start with Viz, and I actually just got pretty nervous, which I hope isn't a bad sign, but let's go ahead and scroll. Last time I did this, I kept accidentally closing out of the app, and it was really, really annoying. Join Nate as he befriends the yokai of the hit video game Yokai Watch. I started this anime while I was in high school. Yeah, I never finished it, but I don't hate this, I think. Alright, let's go ahead and get one more from Viz. I am more on a series called Fushigi Yugi, the original classic that defined the shoujo fantasy adventure genre. I mean, the art looks pretty. I have concerns because I do feel like shoujo has some concerning elements in its history, but yeah, I guess we'll see. I know absolutely nothing about this. Okay, this is an interesting group so far. Let's go ahead and just get one from K-Manga. Ninja versus Gokudo. The ninja and the Gokudo are about to settle once and for all which side will survive and which side will face annihilation. Okay, yeah, again, I know absolutely nothing about this, and I don't really know what to say about it except that I do sometimes struggle with action fighting series. Hopefully this won't be one of them. But you know, I'm not gonna judge it before I read it. This might actually be really good and I will regret my words, and I'll be so happy that I picked this. But I also feel like we have 3 very different series here, so I do like that and I think it'll be interesting. So yeah, there is going to be a break in this video here. I am going to go read those and I will come back with all of my thoughts. Okay, so we are back. Things have been read, and this was certainly an interesting experience. Vibes are very mixed, and I don't really know how to feel right now, so let's just go ahead and get into it. And let's go ahead and start with Yokai Watch, because I believe I landed on that first. And while I do have a memory of watching some of the episodes of this anime when I was in high school, I only really remember the cat, the watch, and like a little bit of Whisper, but also not as much as you would think, just based on how present he is in this series and how loud he is about it. But yeah, Yokai Watch. It follows our main character Nate. He is an ordinary boy. Couldn't be more ordinary, actually, until he encounters a yokai who gives him a watch, and from there he sets out to befriend more yokai. And it's a very simple, very episodic series. There's a new yokai each chapter, and we focus on that yokai and just like whatever the general theme that is around it. And my enjoyment of the series really just depend on whatever chapter it was, but I thought this series was cute. There is some fun comedy. There also is some darker comedy that I was not expecting. I also did enjoy seeing a lot of the yokai, but my brain also naturally went into Pokemon mode while reading this series, and I had some different thoughts than Nate on who he should be calling out to deal with the situation in front of him, when he's really only calling out the cat most of the time, which is fine. I get it. He's the mascot. I like the cat. But I also would have liked to have seen more of everyone just to make the previous chapters feel more relevant and just bring everything together some more. And there is one fight where they do actually do that, so maybe that is something that is more in their future than the first 10 chapters. Which is a future that I'm not sure that I will ever be experiencing, honestly, because while I like this series, I mostly just thought it was fine, and that's pretty much it. Moving on to Fushigi Yugi, this follows our main character who is 15 and is studying really hard for her high school entrance exams, as her mother has put a lot of pressure on her to attend an elite school. One day, she and her best friend open the pages of an ancient Chinese book and find themselves transported into the universe of the four gods. And our main character finds herself escaping into this world in order to run from her schoolwork and family problems, but she ends up in more danger and more romance than she ever could have anticipated. So this was a series that was published in 1992, and I can both see like how this has been influenced by other series from around that time, and also how it has influenced many series that came after it. And I also did read the series through the lens of knowing that it was older, that it was going to have issues, and not really handle things the way that we would like to see in 2025. And it is very shoujo, especially in the romance area, which let's just go ahead and start there. Because this series is really heavily a romance series. There is a love triangle. I did not like it. But I also don't really feel like this series is taking that love triangle all that seriously. I'm pretty sure that they've set up the main love interest pretty clear here. But there are still some love triangle-y elements for sure that just aren't that fun for me. Especially because, again, I do feel like the love interest is pretty clear at this point, so it does feel unnecessary and just kind of annoying. And the series has also felt pretty fast-paced so far, so while I do feel like there is chemistry there, I'm feeling the insta-love a little bit more in just like all areas. And again, our main character, she is also 15, and there are some uncomfortable moments with her in terms of the romance, and just like predatory behavior that she experiences, with also some fan service as well. And while we're talking about her, I actually do think that I might really like her as a character. Like, she's young, she could definitely act in ways that are messy and dramatic, insta-lovey, and again, a little bit annoying. But she's also really fun, has really good comedic moments, and she's pretty tough too. Like, she's scrappy, and I like that a lot. And the series does have some pretty fun moments when it comes to the comedy, and again, while it did feel fast-paced, I thought there was some good group chemistry here. One of our main characters is also queer, and you know, again, they don't really handle this character with the care that we would like to see in 2025, but again, I have no idea what they do with this character moving forward or what other kinds of jokes have been made at their expense. As for the story itself, in 2025, it is not the most unique thing, but I also didn't hate it. It's a little Inuyasha and a little Yona of the Dawn. Seeing what happens in the book versus IRL was also interesting, and I do like that that component was added. I also really like the art style, but I kind of knew that going into it. Like, the thumbnail for this series was very pretty. I also did end up reading 12 chapters of this just to finish out the second volume. It is a messy and dramatic series. It can definitely be annoying and frustrating at points, but it can also be kind of fun at other points. I don't really plan on continuing on with it because it just doesn't really hold up well enough for me to want to when there are other things to read. And I'm also not sure that I would still hold any positive feelings towards this series at all if I did continue on with it, so I do just kind of want to take the moments that I got and move on. And finally, we do have Ninja versus Gokudo, and this follows one of our main characters who is a ninja who is unable to smile or laugh due to childhood trauma. And one day he runs into our other main character who is an elite at a successful company, but this man has a secret. He is actually a Gokudo and the head of his own kumi, and although these two do get along, their friendship has developed at the same time as the tension and the conflict between the ninja and the Gokudo is growing hotter, and many fights to the death ensue. So this is probably my biggest surprise of this video, because I could actually see myself returning to this series one day, especially to finish the fight scene that I left off on in chapter 10. And on that note, this series does have a lot of really violent, graphic fight scenes. There is a lot of beheading. Like, that is their favorite thing to do. There is so much of it. Like, I'm not gonna say that reading violent action scenes might be like the entire point of this series, but also, like, you know, it might be the entire point of this series. And there is part of me that does say that they might be too frequent to the point where they do kind of stray into predictable territory, but they're also doing some interesting things with their action scenes. Like, there are ideas and concepts here for sure. As for the conflict itself, I did have some trouble getting interested into like all of the details of it, and I also had some trouble getting into like the downtime in between the fights as well, and a lot of the series is also the friendship and the relationship between these two characters. And a major part of this series is also just the build up to what will eventually be them finding out that they actually do really want to kill each other, and I am more interested than not in seeing that reveal one day, but the series also really wants you to know that this is their big concept. Like, they are not subtle about it at all, which is part of why I do think that when this series wants me to cry over this, I'm probably not going to. Like, I don't really have the confidence that the series is strong enough to land that, but I also do really like our ninja main character, so I could see maybe getting emotionally attached to him to the point where the emotional moments might hit a little bit harder because of that. So yeah, Might return to this series one day, might not, but I definitely do think that I will be reading at least chapter 11. And whatever else I need to just to get to a place in the story where I feel better about leaving it alone for a while. Because the series also does need K-manga points from a certain chapter onward, and I just don't know if this series is worth all of that for me personally, but we'll see. Okay, that is all 3 of our series here. Yeah, not bad, but also not exactly better than the first 3 random manga series that I read in the last video. And in terms of ratings, I'm at like a 3 out of 5 for Yokai Watch, a 2.75 out of 5 for Fushigi Yugi, and a 3.5 out of 5 for Ninja vs. Gokudo. But those ratings could certainly move in either direction if I ever land on one of them again in this kind of video in the future, or if I just return to one of them on my own one day. But for today, thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, and answer the question that'll be around here if you want to do that, and hopefully I will see you here next time. Bye!